Hello everybody. Today, or anybody that's watching, today I've come up to the Telscombe. It's an absolutely beautiful place, and the coast is just over there. I don't know if you can actually see the sea there, but this, well, over there is where I believe Beowulf is buried. That mound over there is his burial mound, which has been now converted into a water reservoir. I'll try and explain all of that when I get over there. It's tragic really, but I will show you a few things, and I'm going to read the little bit out of his book, the very last bit of his book, talking about when he's buried when we get there. So I'll see you there. Okay, here we are. I'm going to speak up a little bit because it's a bit windy. You know, I don't know, every time I've recorded it seems to catch a whole load of wind whenever I'm in an exposed environment and you can't hear a bloody thing. But anyway, this I think is what I think is Beowulf's Barrow, and this unfortunately was turned into a water reservoir. I can't remember his name, someone Gorham, something like that. He was someone from Telscombe village, which is down there in the valley. Obviously you can see how high up we are here. It's an amazing spot, absolutely incredible spot. There's the sea on a seaward slope, and there is there's the sea right out there. It's just beautiful today. See the sun reflecting off of it. Crow on the post over there, sent by Odin. Anyway, yeah, so this guy, he decided to bring one of the first, he sounds like a real amazing guy when you read about what he did. He decided to bring one of the first water supplies into Telscombe at that time. Now obviously you can see how much space there is around here, and it is known that he plundered, well, that's not what they've written, that he dug out a burial mound here, partially excavated it is what they say, in order to put this thing here. And obviously, I mean, it just obviously you couldn't build it anywhere else here. Nowhere else could it have possibly gone in this enormous empty space. Had to go directly on the burial mound at the top of the hill. But anyway, there is hope that it has been partially excavated and hasn't been fully excavated. That then would mean that there's something still down here, maybe proof. But anyway, this is an important thing. You can't see this from anywhere. That's obviously one of those old trig markers that's been fenced in now, so you can't see that this is the highest point on the entire downland area. But that is one of the old trig markers. That's the mound. God knows what they did underneath there. Who knows if there is even a water supply there, I don't know. But I mean, ultimately they could have put it anywhere else, but they didn't. And the information as to what was in this mound, other than they say there were some crouched skeletons, which actually fits really well with the Beowulf story if you listen very carefully to the way it's written. I'll try and emphasize that point when I get to it. And then, yeah, it's just such a cool spot. I'll just come round. So there's the seaward slope, clear seen afar by voyagers on the waves. It is absolutely amazing. And this is the whale's head. I can't really explain that. You'll have to work that out for yourself. But don't blame me if you do. Life might get a bit confusing. It certainly has for me. But anyway, this is Beowulf's Barrow, I think. I'm almost certain of it. There's too much that would suggest that it was. And there's also really old Roman settlements known up here. I think somewhere in this field there's a I can't remember what they call it. Is it like a dike, or it's basically some sunken road or something that they haven't excavated for some reason. One thing that I'm considering is that in the building or the digging out of the mound is that perhaps the mound was once here and then all of the dugout stuff ended up there. I just don't know. But this, my friends, is my idea of where Beowulf ended his days. So I'm just going to now read the last little bit out of the Beowulf passage so that you know got to find it first. I've got Tolkien's version with me today, and I hope he can hear me. Anyway, I'll speak to you in 2 seconds. For him then, the Geatish lords a pyre prepared upon the earth, not niggardly, with helms are hung, and shields of war and corslets shining as his prayer had been. Now laid they amidmost their glorious king, mighty men lamenting their lord beloved. Then upon the hill warriors began the mightiest of funeral fires to waken. Wood smoke mounted black above the burning, a roaring flame ringed with weeping, till a swirling wind sank quiet, and the body's bony house was crumbled in the blazing core. Unhappy in heart, they mourned their misery and their liege lord slain. There too a lamentable lay many a Geatish maiden with braided tresses for Beowulf made, singing in sorrow, oft repeating the days of evil she sorely feared. Many a slaying, cruel, and men armed, ruin and thraldom's bond. The smoke faded into the sky. Then the lords of the wind-loving people, upon a seaward slope, a tomb wrought that was high and broad, to voyagers on the waves clear seen afar, and in 10 days they builded the memorial of the brave in war, encompassed with a wall what the fires had left, in such most splendid wise as men of chief wisdom could contrive. In that mound they laid armlets and jewels, and all such ornament as erewhile daring-hearted men had taken from the hoard, abandoning the treasure of mighty men to earth to keep, gold to the ground where yet it dwells, as profitless to men as it proved of old. Then about the tomb rode warriors valiant, sons of princes, 12 men in all, who would their woe bewail, their king lament, a dirge upraising, that man praising, honouring his prowess and his mighty deeds, his worth esteeming, even as is meet that a man should his lord beloved in words extol, in heart cherish, when forth he must from the raiment of flesh be taken far away. Thus bemourned the Geatish folk their master's fall, comrades of his earth, crying that he was ever of the kings of the earth, of men most generous, and to men most generous, to his people most tender, and for praise most eager. God bless you, Beowulf.